Hey you guys, it is Sara here. So this is definitely a blended family and divorce topic. um, Look at it's so quiet and clean. My husband is at work and my kids are gone until this evening, which is kind of what prompted me to do this video. So I kind of wanted to share with you the emotions that I've been processing through, especially this time around when my kids were with my ex-husband, and just some of the things that I went through. So a little bit of our dynamics. So my husband and I, my first husband and I, got a divorce, and even though he has done a really great job of like turning himself around since then, even at his best, we're still not the best together, right? But I always wanted the best for him because when he's at his best, that means that my kids are getting what they deserve. And that's really all I ever wanted. I wanted us to be able to be civil and for my kids to see that kind of like a healthy, mutual respect for each other in a divorced relationship, even if we're not together. So I've been really fortunate that we're able to have that now, which has just been incredible. But I still really struggle with emotions and the feeling. So first of all, just letting my kids go with my ex-spouse in the first place it's really difficult. It is. I'm going to be honest. I'm one of those moms that's like, I like to know where my kids are. I like to know what they're doing. And it is so hard because when your kids are with the other person, you can't control their environment. You can't control what they're exposed to. Like, they eat things that they wouldn't normally eat here, which just makes me, and my oldest, one of the first nights was like, yeah, guess what we watched last night? Like Paranormal Ghost Hunters. And in my head, I'm just like, what the flip? Why? And oh man, it's hard. And then we don't eat a lot of dairy or gluten, especially with my youngest. If you saw that video where she had the asthma, just horrible. She was in the hospital, the emergency room. So we changed her diet around, and guess what? She's totally symptom free. So it's just these little things, like when my ex has her, he just doesn't always do that. And it makes me mad and it makes me frustrated. And I just feel so like I can't control it, right? So I was really, really struggling with that this time around, especially because they were the furthest away that they've ever been. I was up in Wisconsin and he took them down to Florida, and it's hard. It's like, I don't want him to drive down there with them. I don't want them to be away. And in the past, I have gotten like major anxiety and major like separation things when a couple years ago they went to Michigan with him. That was the first time they'd ever left me, and I was like, I could not relax. So this time around, my husband was like, you need to relax. And I was able to kind of distract my mind, to focus, to be able to enjoy the peace and enjoy our date week. But that was really difficult. And so one of the places that I was brought to was that I might not trust my ex-husband. Like that, obviously, I don't. That's part of the reason why we're divorced. I don't trust him. He does not parent at the level that I feel that I parent at, which is just a personal opinion. Doesn't make him a bad parent, just means we're different. And so I really struggled. And basically, God was just like, you don't need to trust your ex-husband, because at the end of the day, he's here and I'm here. So when your kids go with him, you need to be trusting me that he's under me and I've got him. And so that was kind of the place I was at this time, was just surrendering and trusting, because you feel really helpless when your kids are gone. And that's a hard feeling as a mom, to let your kids go. And another emotion that I have really been processing through, and here's one of my other tips, by the way. If you're having emotions and you're having feelings, don't judge your feelings and your emotions, because if you automatically push them away, like, oh, that's a bad feeling, that's a bad thought, I shouldn't feel like that. You never acknowledge the feeling. you never get to the root of where it's coming from, and you're never able to work through it. So for example, one of the feelings that I had to work through this time around was being jealous and PO'd that my kids were having a good time. Yep. Because in my head, I just wanted to be like, you don't even know. Like, you don't. Here's what I felt like. I felt like you don't get to deserve to have a good time with the kids because this is what we went through. This is what you put us through when we were all together. And my kids don't remember that. They were too little. They don't remember. And part of me gets jealous because it's like, he's not fun. He wasn't a good parent. Wow. Like, why? You know. And they're like, oh, dad's the best. And in my head, when they say that, it was just, it really set off things. And they're like, yeah, dad's taking us here. You know, and in our situation, he's not around, right? So he has them maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 times a year for a total of like 2.5 to 3 weeks. And in my head, it's like, you guys are with me all the time. He's never here, you know, and then when he is, of course they get loaded up with, you know, they go to eat all the time, and he takes them down on expensive trips and takes them to Florida, and they do all of this stuff. And it's, and in my heart, I was like, yeah, but you're not a real parent because you just get to come in and be Mr. Fun and do whatever, and the kids just have a freaking blast, and then they think you're the best and you're not. Like, it made me mad. And I was really struggling with those feelings this time around, especially. Just, and you know what? Oh, man. And it sucks. It really, really sucks because I want the best for my kids, but I think it also comes from a place of, I want to be the fun mom. Like, I want to be the fun parent. Like, you just kind of like abandon your kids essentially, and you don't have them. And you just get to swoop in here and be Mr. Fun, and you don't have to deal with them getting sick. And you're never here. You never get woke up in the middle of the night. Like, it's like, you're not a real parent. You're not a real parent. And that's what I really struggled with this time. And so I had a lot of like heart work to do in here because you know, and it made me think, I can't imagine being in his shoes. You know, I can't imagine knowing that I effed up, lost my family, lost my kids. You know what? And so I had a lot of processing in here to do, and just to kind of get my heart right, and just to realize you know what? And even if he doesn't have that now, like someday you're going to look back and realize you weren't able to be there with your kids in the middle of the night. You know, he doesn't get to wake up and see them in his own house. He doesn't have those opportunities. So for me, I really had to like journal and process through this to kind of get rid of some of that like anger, and to realize that what I'm doing matters. And I don't need my kids to realize that now, although it would be nice. You know, I want to be the fun mom. And I know that someday they're going to look back and see that they're going to know. Your kids are going to know. Your kids are going to realize that you were the one that was there for them. You were the one to get up with them in the night, to clean the puke out of the carpet, to take care of them when they had the flu, you know, to go to all the parent and teacher stuff. Like, they're going to know, and they're going to appreciate it. What you're doing matters. Deep breaths. I really struggled this time around. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's different. Like, I don't have a lot of like single mom or blended family friends to talk this through with. And so sometimes I feel like we just sit there in our own bubbles and we just feel like we're going through these emotions on our own. And if you're watching this, I just want you to know that you're not. There are other people who are going through these feelings too, myself included. So my kids get home tonight. And so instead of coming from a place of like being angry that they had such a great time and being jealous that he gets to be the fun dad, I'm coming from a place of, you know what? If I were that parent and I didn't get to see my kids, you're darn right. The 1 to 2 weeks I saw them a year, I would want to spoil the heck out of them. And I am now grateful that they had that experience because they deserve the best, and they deserve the best from their dad. And you know what? Maybe it's not best if he sees them all of the time. and maybe this is what's best. And so I just have to accept that and acknowledge where my feelings are coming from, which is like overworked, underappreciated, the typical mom. I think the average mom, I heard this from an older, I won't say older, a more seasoned mom who had kids in her 20s. And she said it wasn't until her kids started to hit like 25 and 30 that she felt like all of the work she put in when they were little, she started to see that and they really started to appreciate it. So there's that. So tonight when my kids get home, I'm going to love up on them. We're going to Christmas decorate. And we go through like a little bit of a detox period. You guys, it's hard when they come back, you know, and they miss their dad. But that's where I struggle because they're like, oh, I miss dad so much. And it's like, you do, but do ya? Because you don't remember what it was like. And so that's where I have a hard time. So I just need to learn to just listen to them. And I don't, by the way, it's super important. I don't ever make little snide comments about my ex-husband to my children. That is a huge no-no. I want them to have nothing but love and respect for that man, because had we not got a divorce, I would not have met my husband. Everything happens for a reason. I want the best for him. I do not undermine my ex-spouse in front of my kids. So when they say things like that, I learn just to listen. Even if I have to fake a smile and be like, oh, yeah, that's hard, isn't it? You love your daddy. Thank you, by the way, to my mom for teaching me a lot of these skills. She's worked with like younger children and behavior specialist or whatever she is. She's really good. So she's helped me through a lot of that. And I bounce my feelings off of my mom. So maybe a good thing to do would just be find somebody that you can bounce your feelings off of that is a safe person. Not somebody who's going to let you vent inappropriately or like commiserate, but truly has your best things in mind. That's going to listen and be like, okay, not judge, but just really recommend the best for you. So my mom is that person for me. So I can call and be like, oh, I'm so frustrated. And she'll be like, just let the kids have a good time. Let him buy them stuff. I know it's frustrating, but imagine how he feels. And it's like, yeah, you're right. So I'm really grateful for my mom. So I hope you find somebody like that too, and just know that you're not alone. So anyways, this went on a little bit longer than I was expecting. So thank you for watching and letting me share my blended mom divorce co-parenting struggles with you, because it's definitely not easy. And it's nice to have a safe place and community here, even on YouTube, where I've met other blended family moms, and it's just awesome to know that we're in this together. So anyways, all right, I'm going to go. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon kid-free before they get here and do some laundry. Yeah, this is what mommy dream days are made of. So, okay, bye guys. See ya.